Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Joel, and today I'm going to show you how I made that splendid art sculpture. Okay, so I came up with the idea for manipulating this plexiglass material from Atelier Miko. It's a website, or excuse me, a YouTube channel. You got to check her out, she's awesome. She does all kinds of wall sculptures. So anyway, what I'm doing now is I'm prepping a 24 by 30 inch Artist Loft gallery wrap canvas, painting it black, getting the back looking nice. I'm also going to go ahead and put my wire hanger and sign it and stamp it before I attach my sculpture to the front side of it. So I'm just going to cover this up with some Artist Loft soft body black, and we're going to set that aside, get out my material for my sculpture, and I'm going to show you how I manipulate that. Alright, so here's the material we're going to be using today. It's the label I took off of it. It says on it HDPE black sheet 24 by 36 by Amerilux is the company. So one side is smooth and one side is rough, and we're going to be playing with this smooth side today. That's where we're going to be putting our sculpture finished painting on. So you can see there's handprints and stuff on this. The first thing I'm going to do, get some gloves on here. I don't want any oil on this, so I'm going to use some alcohol, and we're going to wipe this up real quick. Then we're going to scuff it, and I'll get back to you in a second. Alright, I got it wiped off. Now I'm taking a gray 3M Scotch-Brite pad, which is equivalent to 800 grit. I got that all scuffed. Looks nice. There it is. Now I put together this thing here. You don't need this, but I thought it might help to get the initial bends where I want them so that they're perfectly straight. This contraption I have here is actually just a roof rack for skis that I got at a garage sale, and then I mounted it to this sawhorse. So it will hold this thing in one place. Then I'm going to break out my heat gun. We're going to heat it up real good and start bending it. So this is not like a hair dryer. This is an actual heat gun. It gets really hot. So I'm going to experiment with this material because I've never tried to bend it before. So I'm going to heat it up slowly and evenly as possible, and then we're going to see what happens when you try to bend it. So it's a learning curve for me also. Never tried this before, so we'll just see what happens. So you can see I got a couple of bins in there. It's looking pretty good. I can kind of tell when I got it heated up plenty because the color starts to change slightly, and then you can tell you got some good heat in it. So after I got the initial bins in it, I'm just going to play with it by hand. So you don't really need this contraption necessarily. You can do this all by hand, just on the floor, bend it up. That's what the person that I watched on their YouTube channel did, and it worked just fine. I just thought this might make it easier, especially since it's the first time I tried it. I've never used this material, so it worked pretty well. Alright, so I got the shape in it that I like. I took it into work. I paint cars for a living, and I'm going to shoot it silver. I want it bright silver, which is what I'm doing now. I know not everybody has a paint booth, but if you do, you might as well use it, right? So that's why I'm doing this here, try to get less dirt and I can really see well. So I'm just shooting it with the base silver. Then I'm mixing up this concoction that I learned from a different website that I've utilized before in previous videos. You get this urea fertilizer. It's nitrogen pellets. You put it in water, heat it up. Don't boil it, but you just heat it up and it dissolves, and then you strain it. You mix it 1 part urea fertilizer, 1 part water, and then you put in a splash of dish soap just to slow down the drying process and make the material flow better. So I'm squirting this stuff on here, and as it dries, it starts to form a crystal pattern. And you can manipulate this pattern by breaking the flow of the material with a sharp object, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. First, we're just getting it evenly saturated. This squirt bottle I have wasn't working too well, but now I'm just pouring off the excess. I don't want it pooling in the valleys, or you'll end up with a different pattern. Okay, so here's my little pokey thing. I'm just going to poke a bunch of spots, and that should spread out into like a star pattern. Now there's different variations depending on how you mix this stuff, so I'm still playing with it. If you want longer stars, then you need to it needs to dry slower, for one thing. So I'm going to be playing with this in the future. Temperature has a lot to do with this when you're mixing this stuff up yourself, and airflow. You don't want you don't want it drying too fast. So I'm going to zoom in a minute. You can see what this does. Alright, so I'm zooming in here. You can see we're starting to crystallize as it's drying. It's kind of hard to see, but it is in fact kind of fracturing as it dries. Okay, so we're going to let that dry all the way, then we'll go to the next step. Alright, after the panel has dried completely, which took about maybe just 15 minutes, I got some black spray paint and I'm putting just a mist coat on it. I'm not trying to get real good coverage, I just want to get some black down into the impression from the crystal formation. And then we're going to wipe this off with the sponge and you will see the crystal formations left on the panel. And then we'll take it to the next step. Okay, so I got the panel back at home. I'm just going to get a sponge and some water and we're going to gently wipe this off and we'll see what we have left. So you can see the paint's coming off. I'm just going kind of gingerly. You can always press harder. Start soft, go slow, and then increase if need be. If you have to, you can use sandpaper or something, Scotch-Brite pad or whatever. If you put too much paint on it or it just, the paint is sticking really bad. But this is working just fine. Okay, so here's a close-up of what it looks like with the silver and black only. It's looking pretty cool. I'm going to take this back to work and we're going to be applying some candy colors, which candy colors are very transparent and really fun to work with, but you can get them. Just look it up on the internet. You'll go down a rabbit hole. But anyway, I'm going to take it to work. I'm going to apply some green candy and some kind of purplish candy colors to the panel. Okay, so here you can see I already have some green on there. I forgot to hit my record button. Now I have this purplish color that I'm going on the high spots. So I put the green in the valleys, and I'm going to put this purple on the crests of the hills. Those take several coats because, like I said, it's very transparent. I mixed up about 4 ounces of each color. Okay, I'm going to speed this up, then we'll go in for a close-up in a sec. Alright, so here we are on the close-up. It's hard to see the purplish, but under normal lighting, these are very bright fluorescent. Like I said, it's very transparent, but it looks pretty cool. I've very rarely used green on anything, but I just decided to give it a whirl. So this is my first attempt at this type of sculpture. I'm going to do some more, probably some smaller ones. Going to come up with some cool color combinations like purple and amber and things like that. My next one. So yeah, tell me what you think. I hope you guys like it. I'm going to show you in just a second how I've attached it to the canvas. Alright, so here it is. It's all dried. It's on my kitchen counter. Gonna flip it over. The back looks nice and clean yet. I'm going to get out some very strong urethane adhesive, and I'm going to put it on the ridges, and then we're going to put it on the canvas. So I'm just kind of playing this through my head here, and then we're going to do it. Okay, so here's the adhesive I'm using. It's PU 970, made by Red Devil, polyurethane adhesive. So like I said, I'm just going to put this on the crowns of this, and then we're going to flip it over, and I'm going to put some weight on top. Alright, so I did a test fit earlier, just so I would be prepared. So I'll have like about a 1/4 inch overhang on the sides, and then on the ends I'll have 3 inches on either side, either end. So now I'm just pressing it down. I'm kind of moving it back and forth a little bit, pressing the urethane into the canvas. And then just to be sure I got one spot that's not laying down perfectly, I'm going to put a weight, just using this cylindrical cushion. And then we're going to put one more weight on top of that, and we're going to let it dry. And here is the finished piece. Got it on my wall. Worked quite well. I think it looks pretty neat. There's nothing like it I've ever seen, so please let me know what you think. If you want to learn how to do fun stuff like this, please subscribe and also hit that like button for me. Really helps me out. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers. I only got about 500, so share this with your friends. That'd be awesome. Also want to thank the Surf Zombies one more time for the background music. I hope you guys have a great holiday season. Love you guys, and I'll see you real soon. Thanks again.